Coming up next, war protests on the streets of State College.
We are here to show that this is not an issue that's thousands of miles away.
Plus, what happened in this college dorm room had women students afraid.
It was scary. I mean, I started going downstairs to shower.
And all aboard for a new train ride that's a decade in the making. The Center County Report starts now. Good afternoon, I'm Olivia Jean.
And I'm Brendan Conroy. Thanks for joining us for the Center County Report. Our top story, the latest on the Israel-Hamas war. Israel is expanding its ground operation deeper into Gaza. More than half of the area's 2 million Palestinians have left their homes. And the UN expressed fears over airstrikes hitting closer to hospitals where thousands have gone for shelter. Today, the Israeli military battled Hamas militants and attacked underground compounds. And a woman soldier captured by Hamas during its attack has been released and is back in Israel. The Prime Minister has also rejected calls for a ceasefire.
Here at home, the Israel-Hamas war is stirring strong emotions. There have been protests in Center County. One group supporting Palestinians just wrapped up a week of events in State College and says it's fighting to be heard. Angelica Rubin reports.
Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine!
Genocide, a powerful word that Aya Rubb uses to describe the Israel-Hamas war. Rubb is an organizer with Penn State Students for Justice in Palestine. She says the group's week of action in State College was carefully thought out.
But when the bombardment and the war started on Gaza, we saw urgency of starting doing action.
The group is collaborating with 4 other organizations. They're on social media calling to, quote, stop the genocide in Gaza, end the siege, and end all U.S. aid to Israel. And several days ago, they marched in the streets. Here at the Allen Street Gates for a week in action for Palestine, organized by the Penn State Students for Justice in Palestine. East College Avenue is currently being blocked off by police after community members and students began walking down East College Avenue. Soren Bungard was raised Jewish but joined the protest. He says that's to show lines can be blurred.
I think a lot of times it's framed as Jews versus them when it's not. There are a lot of us that I know of and that are friends and our family that just want to see peace and want to see people in the land that they were born in.
Others say the lines are clear. Pro-Israeli supporters held a counter-protest at the same time. A truck with flyers of Israeli hostages taken by Hamas militants parked on the street while other counter-protesters chose words over symbols.
Kill my family! Terrorists!
In a recent statement, Penn State's president said, quote, we unequivocally condemn the ongoing violence and grief for the innocent lives that continue to be lost. Neeli Bendaputi did not specifically mention Palestinians in the statement. Rua Das is a student organizer at the protest. She says the university must take a more active role expressing support for a ceasefire.
I think one thing that we hope to accomplish is to show the people of State College that there is all across the world, there is massive support for Palestinians and for the Palestinian people right here. We are here to show that this is not an issue that's thousands of miles away, right? Right here, our universities are complicit.
Despite the events held over the past week, Dub says there's no joy.
This is what I owe to my people, is to continue speaking against everything that's happening to them. And especially now, we need to raise our voices that we need to end this genocide that's happening to Gaza right now.
In State College, I'm Angelica Rubin for the Center County Report.
According to the Hamas-run health ministry, the death toll has reached more than 8,000 people in Gaza.
Another major story we're continuing to follow, the aftermath of the mass shooting in Maine. Authorities are piecing together the events that led to the shooting spree that killed 18 people last week. Accused killer Robert Card had numerous run-ins with police, and 5 months before the shooting, his family alerted the sheriff that they were becoming worried about his mental health while he had access to guns. Card killed himself after the shootings.
Police are reminding Penn State students about dorm security after the recent arrest of a Boalsburg man. This incident happened on the University Park campus at Hamilton Hall. Reporter Jesse Nguyen is there live with the details. Jesse?
Olivia, here over my shoulder here at the West Halls, police say a man twice broke into the dorm and recorded women students in the shower. He now faces criminal trespass and invasion of privacy charges. I talked with some Penn State students about what the school is doing in terms of security measures. This is the man police say secretly recorded women as they showered in a Penn State dorm. 24-year-old Jin Yu Lee is not a student here. The Bollesburg man is accused of filming the women at Hamilton Hall on the University Park campus. Penn State police responded there twice, on October 7th and 14th, to complaints of a phone camera pointed in the shower stall. So how does someone get in?
To get into Hamilton Hall, students must be authorized and have one of these. Police say surveillance cameras captured Lee entering the dorm simply by following other students through the doors.
Hamilton Hall resident Danielle Boda lives on the 3rd floor where the first incident happened.
It was scary. I mean, I started going downstairs to shower because downstairs are where the pods are. So I started going down there to shower for a couple weeks.
Just last week, Lee was released on bail,
which made me scared all over again.
A statement from University Police and Public Safety reads, "The safety of our campus community is always Penn State's top priority. Police urge students to not let anyone they don't know into the residence halls." West Dorm's resident Weston Boyd agrees.
I mean, I do feel a little bit nervous for my safety, but I really think that this is a pretty isolated incident, so I'm not too worried about it happening again or anything.
Lee pleaded guilty to criminal trespassing and invasion of privacy. His arraignment is set for November 22nd. Live on University Park, I'm Jesse Nguyen. Now back to you.
Thanks, Jesse. State police have arrested 2 people accused of vandalizing political campaign signs in Half Moon Township. The 22-year-olds, one from State College and one from Bedford, are charged with criminal mischief. Police say they're also under investigation for other spray-painted signs at locations throughout Center County.
Just in time for Halloween, the weather is making a big change this week. A few days ago, we had near record warm temperatures. Now it's going to feel more like winter. Student meteorologist Jeremy Laguerre is live outside with more on the changing seasons. Jeremy?
Hi, Olivia, and yes, it is very cold out here. I would even say it's scary cold out here. Happy Halloween. Now, as we go into tonight, temperatures are going to be dropping down to freezing. As long as for today, temperatures are going to be in the 40s, and we're really not going to get much warmer than that. Now, we are down around 5 to 15 degrees below where we were yesterday, just 24 hours ago, and last week we're down 30 degrees from last week, because last week we were in the 70s. Now, it is going to be very cold tonight, and like I said, we're going to be dropping down to freezing temperatures, and we even have a chance of snowfall. It's not snowing right now, but it may snow tonight into tomorrow morning. Now, what are the exact chances of snow and how cold is it actually going to get? Well, you'll find out in my full forecast in just a few minutes. Brendan?
Thanks, Jeremy. Trick-or-treaters will be bundling up tonight on this chilly Halloween, but some kids and their families had a chance to do some early celebrating in State College over the weekend. Reporter Matt Cabram takes you there.
Costumes, candy, games, and much more. All indoors and safe.
So to be able to have somewhere like this, especially on a rainy day, to be able to make memories with our kids is really special.
In the last few days, the State College Christ Community Center hosted its first annual Wow Week, a multiple-day Halloween event.
Still, people are showing up, and we're just happy to reach out to our community this way.
The highlights of Wow Week included a musical performance on Wednesday and an arts and crafts fair on Friday and Saturday.
Today is the last day of the Christ Community Center's first annual Wow Week, an all-week Halloween event. Today is the last day known as Trunk or Treat, where there's bounce houses, a costume contest, games, partying, music, and of course candy.
The Sunday rain moved the Trunk or Treat event inside the center's sports complex. The only casualty was the hayrides. It was like a Halloween heaven for the kids as excitement filled the complex.
Excited.
Super excited? And now who are you this year for Halloween?
TJ Watt.
In State College, I'm Matt Cabram for the Center County Report.
If you're taking the little ones trick-or-treating tonight, the official hours are 6 till 8 here in the Center region.
It's going to be chilly out there tonight for sure. Jeremy is back in a few minutes with the full 7-day forecast.
Plus, a Hollywood legend is coming to State College this week as a popular film festival continues. Also coming up, climb on board an old railroad car as it returns to the rails in Bellefonte.
They're yelling all aboard in Bellefonte again. After almost 10 years, a historic railroad car is back in town and taking people for rides. Paige McCarrick has that story.
It's a decade in the making. The long-awaited restoration of a historic rail car is finally finished, and over the weekend, the diesel car began its first excursions for the public in Bellefonte.
So it just opens up a world of possibilities as far as different events that we can put on to give back to the community and be a bigger part of Bellefonte.
The restoration was expected to take about a year and a half in Columbia, Pennsylvania, but complications turned into an almost 10-year project.
Everything on this is super custom, super unique. There aren't a whole lot of these around anymore. Bud made thousands of them, and there may only be a few dozen still in operation.
The Bud Rail Car's return featured a VIP ceremony with speeches, cake, and the first official ride.
It's been out of service for 18 years. And this will give us the ability to operate rail excursions on our own once we have our own train and engine crew certified. 9167 coming back means that we can finally start a new chapter of BHRS.
The rail car has been back at the station for about a month, and volunteers have been overseeing the mechanical and cosmetic concerns as the car is 70 years old. And the Railroad Society is planning different events to bring the community together at the train station.
Everyone along the rails that has different restaurants and stuff, they've been asking for this because we can bring them to the restaurant, or we can potentially someday serve food on the train.
The Railroad Society was founded in 1984 to preserve, promote, and educate people on Bellefonte's railroading history. Today, the nonprofit has dozens of members. In Bellefonte, I'm Paige McCarrick for the Center County Report.
Plans are in the works for train rides for the upcoming holidays too. For more information, you can check out the Bellefonte Railroad Society's Facebook page.
Hello everybody, I'm student meteorologist Jeremy Laguerre here with your forecast and taking a look above Penn State campus. Taking a look above the Hub Robertson Center currently, we got these gray skies out there and it is cold. We're gonna barely be in the 40s today. Right now we're at 39 degrees with a dew point of 23. That means it's really dry out there and calm winds, so at least it's not windy. Now, happy Halloween. Today is Halloween, and for Halloween we're gonna be seeing those scary temperatures. Temperatures are going to be dropping down to freezing tonight, and we may even get our first snowfall of the season. But more on that later. Taking a look at our temperatures here in the State College area, we're generally in the 30s and 40s across the state. We're pushing 50 in places like Philadelphia, southeastern portions of the state, slightly warmer. But overall, most of the state really is just going to be in the 40s today at the most. Now, this is a big change from yesterday because yesterday we were around 5 to 10 to 15 degrees warmer than we are now. This is our departure from yesterday, 24 hours ago, 13 degrees cooler from this time yesterday here in State College. And I just want to point out something because our normal high for this time of year is 55 degrees. Today, we're going to be barely in the 40s. So we're around 10 to 15 degrees below where we should be for this time of year. Now, taking a look at our radar, as you can see, we have some showers to our south, but nothing for us to be concerned about, and some activity going on to the north, but overall, nothing for us to be concerned about, at least for now, because the rest of the day is going to be dry. But as we go into tonight, that's when we have that chance of snowfall as temperatures cool down to freezing. As you can see, going into tonight, after the trick-or-treaters, so this is after midnight, we're going to be seeing those snow flurries begin to move into the state, especially western portions of the state with that lake effect snow. As we go into tomorrow morning, we're going to be seeing temperatures in the 20s with that lake effect snow still around. Some flurries will still be around. And then as we go into Wednesday night, we're going to be seeing temperatures drop down to the 20s, and we're still going to be cold going into Thursday. Now, taking a look at our weekend, we're not going to be seeing any major precipitation this weekend. Some clouds will be around, and I know you see some rain on screen, but really there's not much for us to be concerned about here in State College this weekend. Going into Saturday into Sunday, those clouds will stick around, but overall we're going to be looking mostly dry for this weekend, except for some clouds around. But for today here in State College, 43 degrees is the expected high today with partly cloudy skies. For tonight, for the trick-or-treaters, it's going to be cold. So if you're going out in a costume, make sure you bundle up. Freezing temperatures tonight, 32 degrees is the expected low with mostly cloudy conditions. Then after midnight into early tomorrow morning, we're going to be seeing those flurries possible. Tomorrow, a high of 43 degrees. And taking a look at our 7-day forecast for today, we're in the 40s with those flurries possible as we go into tonight and into tomorrow. As we go into the rest of the week, though, we're going to warm up to right around where we should be for this time of year with temperatures in the mid-50s as we go into the weekend with partly cloudy skies.
I was definitely spooked out this morning when I walked into the cold.
Yeah, it's a little cold, but I might stay inside, hang out, maybe watch some World Series baseball with all the chilliness that's going on outside. Now over to Tim Rogers, who has sports.
Thanks, guys. Penn State women's soccer started Big Ten tournament play over the weekend. Find out where they're heading next. And Penn State football took on Indiana in hopes to rebound after a rough loss to Ohio State. That and more after the break. I'm Tim Rogers with sports. Penn State football is now ranked number 9 after a close win over Indiana on Saturday. It wasn't pretty, but it's a bounce-back win the Nittany Lions will gladly take. The Nittany Lions expected a big rebound win after a tough loss to Ohio State. They got the win, but just barely. Penn State started out from behind after a 90-yard touchdown by Indiana's DeKeys Carter. After a muff punt by the Hoosiers, the Lions responded with a touchdown of their own. But the tie didn't last long as Indiana quarterback Brendan Sorsby found Donovan McCulley for a 69-yard touchdown to retake the 14-7 lead. The Nittany Lions countered with a 17-0 run, highlighted by a 16-yard pass by Drew Allard to Theo Johnson. Then, disaster struck for the Nittany Lions. Sorsby found Omar Cooper to cut the game within 3 until Allard threw his first collegiate interception. He broke the NCAA record for most throws without an interception to start the season, but that wouldn't matter as the game was tied at 24. On the next Penn State drive, Allard found Keandre Lambert-Smith for a 57-yard score to give Penn State the lead.
I hadn't wanted to talk about it, but I think he broke the record, all-time NCAA record for completions without an interception. Now that's we can move on from that, but I'm proud of him.
Penn State held on to win 33-24 after a late safety to end the game.
Yeah, I feel like we got back on track. Needed a game like this after a game like last week to bring us back together. So I feel like it was a good game for us.
The Nittany Lions hit the road to take on Maryland on Saturday. Saturday's game kicks off at 3:30, and you can listen to the game live on Penn State Com Radio with our broadcast team in College Park, Maryland. On the high school football field, it's almost playoff time. State College beat Chambersburg on Friday, and the Little Lions have this week off before their playoff game. And for Bald Eagle, they are now 9-1 after a huge win. After the Whistle reporter Owen Camaros has highlights from that game.
On paper, this 8-1 matchup looked to be a much more even game, but 7 touchdowns by 7 different players capped off a true team performance for Bald Eagle.
We cover very well on the back end, and it's something that we've been working on all year, trying to mix and match players in the back end. I think they did a great job tonight, and then offensively, we're tough. I mean, we can run the football, we can throw the football.
We have so many playmakers. We're a young team, so I think that's the biggest thing for us is just how many playmakers we have.
With that many players with the ability to make big plays for this team, Coach Nagel says that's what's going to propel Bald Eagle into these playoffs.
The biggest thing is we're home. We got to take care of business because, District 6 AA is a monster. It is top to bottom 1 through 8. Anybody can win any given night, so we got to be ready to play football next week.
The Bald Eagle defense was suffocating tonight, completely shutting out Penn Cambria's offense heading into the playoffs.
It's huge going into next week, but really we need to get breaking stuff down and get practicing into whoever our opponent is for next week. So this, was a great victory, but it's behind us at this point. We're going to take what we did and we're going to move into next week.
Bald Eagle isn't sure who they play yet, but what they know is the win tonight means that next week's playoff game will be held at home.
You can see highlights and post-game reaction from games across the area every Friday on After the Whistle. That's at 11:30 p.m. on our Belisario Student Media YouTube channel. Penn State men's hockey will open Big Ten play this weekend as they host Notre Dame. The Nittany Lions split their series against Alaska Anchorage on Thursday and Friday. Penn State won Game 1 2-1 before dropping Game 2 of the series by a score of 6-5. The Nittany Lions begin their series with the Fighting Irish on Saturday with puck drop set for 7:30. Penn State women's soccer hits the road this week to play in the Big Ten tournament semifinals against Iowa. The Nittany Lions hosted Indiana on Sunday in the quarterfinals at home. It was a fast start for Penn State, and after multiple chances, Ava Alonso found the back of the net in the 21st minute, and then moments later, Amelia White scored to double the lead. Penn State went on to win the game 3-0, and next up for them is a game against Iowa on Thursday in Columbus, Ohio. And guys, a quick note for you. The Philadelphia 76ers traded James Harden and 2 others to the Clippers in exchange for 4 players and several draft picks. So let's see how that plays out in the NBA, but that's all I got for sports.
Thanks, Tim. Growing up, I played soccer, and I thought I was going to play collegiate level. And watching them play, I mean, they're so good. Best of luck to them the rest of the season.
Yeah, great work with the Penn State sports teams, and great work with the NBA, getting some action very early in this regular season, just a few games in. Thank you, Tim. Coming up next, it's a big week for movie buffs across Central PA as a popular festival returns. Find out when and where after the break.
While the streets of State College are filled with costumes and trick-or-treaters this week, the State College Theater is also filling up as the week goes on for the Center County Film Festival. The festival kicked off last night and will go until next Sunday, November 5th. Night 1 gave viewers a single film to watch in the evening, but the rest of the festival will feature numerous films and projects each day. Film lovers from the area and State College community can come together and create a common love of movies throughout the week.
But I think we all know what film and media can do. I think we all know that we need to hear individual stories. I think we all want to be entertained, so that's where film comes in.
And later this week, Hollywood producing legend and Penn State alum Jerry Abrams will receive a Lifetime Achievement Award at the festival. He's the father of producer J.J. Abrams.
That's a great honor for him. And that's all for today's newscast. We hope you'll join us Friday for our next local news update.
But you can follow us anytime for breaking news on our Center County Report X, and you can see our Facebook stories on Instagram, YouTube, and our website. Have a good afternoon.